me just start. So I'm going to open my locals database. So now how web application were developed before Angular and React, that a short demo we are going to see now. So then means specifically .NET people who are already in the .NET, they will be having an idea how we do that same thing, whatever you guys are working with ASP or other old technology. So how do we used to do that with MVC framework? Okay. So this is my local database. Let's connect to it. Now I'm going to start the whole process again. Let's create a new project. So opening Visual Studio Code, sorry, Visual Studio, create on click on new project. So what we have to use? MVC. So let's search with MVC. So here you can see we have got this template, ASP.NET Core Web App with Model View Controller. Fine. So let's select this, click on next. So it will ask you provide the project name. So let's say, if you remember when we saw the database, now we have created this eStore database, right? These are the tables which we created. So let's try to create a project for that. So let's say eStore.app. Fine. Instead of app now, let's make it web application. Let's click on next. So we don't have to do anything over here. Just click on create. So it will create a basic MVC web application. Now we have our project, we have our database already created. Now this database we are going to use in our web application. Now when we talk about entity framework, so apart from .NET people who are not concerned with the .NET, so entity framework is something, a tool which help us to communicate with the database. Means with the, it's not like backend technology, it's a small tool which lets us to connect to the database in an object oriented way. Okay, so this might be a little confusing, but just see the process how we are going to do it. Again, the API development, what is the that's what our main focus, that is not this. Okay, but still like how things were there previous to Angular and React, that should be aware, so that's why I'm doing it. Okay, so in entity framework there were two approaches. First was database first, and then second was code first. Okay, so currently in this session we are going to talk about database first. Means our database is already ready, right? So now using that database we have to create our model, means classes. Okay, so what we need to do now? So we have created our basic application. Now we have to means in previous we are using Visual Studio 2015, but up to 17 it was very old. There was very so many changes, but after Visual Studio is keep on changing, so now everything is command based, just like in Angular also, no, we do everything CLI based. So over here also we have got so many commands that we can do. Okay, so we have created our project. So whatever the configuration we have got, I have already explained in the previous episode. So now here we just have base by default we get home controller, one model is there. In view we got home folder, and inside that two actions were there. Fine. Now I need to select this particular database. Okay. So for that we have a command. Let me just open that command. So scaffold DB context. So what we are doing over here, we are trying to create a database class. And here you need to provide the server configuration details, mean your database configuration. So if you see, if we go over here in the connect, so you can see this is my database name. This database name I have provided over here. Then data means, sorry, this is my server name. Out of this server, what is my database? eStore DB. That's the database we have created. Then do we trust this connection? We need to say yes. Certification, do we trust it or not? We need to say yes. So these two extra properties we have to say. If it's an online database, apart from these fields, we will have user ID and password also. But this is a local database, so we don't need to pass user ID and password. But if it's a database which is with IP address, so we need to provide user ID and the password. So now this is the command, just like Angular CLI command. How do we run the Angular CLI command? Just like that. Okay. So first step, let me just write down the steps also. First step, add code first approach to create models from database. So sorry, database first. Wait. I have disabled. You can unmute if anyone have any question. So we are going to generate our model, mean classes of the table by using database first approach because our database is already ready. Fine. So for that, you need to run this command. So let's copy this and this command we need to render. Why it's not coming? Where is the CLI? Just a minute. View terminal. Yeah, control plus. Okay. So control plus I have to open just to open my particular command prompt on this particular folder. Okay. Then my command. Let's enter. Okay. This is our normal command prompt. We need CLI one. Anyone knows how do we open that? Command window or what? Toolbar, other windows. Let's try command view. Yeah, sorry, command window. This is the right. Okay, let's try to print it over here. Enter. Why it is saying scaffold? Okay, so sorry. So we created our basic project. So once we create the basic project now, we don't have that entity framework plugin. So we need to install entity framework. Okay. So for that, let's go to, let me just stop it. I want to share the whole screen. Yeah. So we need to, now we are going to install entity framework. Okay. Just like the package we install in Angular Asana, just like that, we are going to install entity framework. So you get to NuGet package manager, second option. Then here you need to search. You need to go on the browse tab, and here you will search entity. Okay. So just we are working on the core. So we have to install this Microsoft Entity Framework.core. We need to select our project and click on install. So just like how do we install the package in Angular, na? Just like that, this is also the same thing. Now it will install our entity framework. I think it is done also. Yeah. Okay. Now let's try to run that command again. So you have to go to the view, then other windows and command windows. Okay. Let's try the same command again. Still it is saying scaffold is not valid. What was the command? Terminal.
Microsoft entity would not be there in the last line.
No, we required it, no? Because we need to specify the server, no? No.
Sir, I think
It is saying
package manager console,
scaffold is not valid. It is not
Package
understanding.
manager console is the one.
packager manager, yeah.
From where do we open that?
View,
We-
go in view, and other windows, yeah. Package manager console above.
This one. Let's try.
Yes.
I think this is the one.
Yeah, this will work.
No, is not recognized. Why it is saying like this? The term scaffold DB content is not recognized as the name of the singlets. Do we need some another package or what? Let's try asking ChatGPT this. I think we need one more package. Let's try. Core tool. Let's try installing this. No package installed. How do we install it? Okay, install. So this package needs, just like the Angular shell, I think this needs this package, then only we can run this command. Okay, let's try upper one now. Enter. So now it is understanding like what is scaffolding. Okay, now it is doing it works. There is another way to do this also, but now like commands are there, so we don't have to manually do all the code. What it is saying, unable to file provider assembly. Ensure the name is correct. Unable to find provider assembly. Why it is not able to find? We install this. Installed. It's not installed. Okay, it is installed. But why it is not understanding that? Okay, this also we need to install. Let's add it over here. This is the first one. Let's try this. Could not find any project is to. Why it is going and finding this particular.
So can you install it directly from the package manager, like
NuGet package?
NuGet manager, yeah.
Let's try this.
Tools also required.
Tools we had now. Tools is already there. Let's try now. Build started. Build succeed. Okay. Now it's working. Okay, so this is one-time process only. Once we install it, after that again we have to generate it. We don't have to do again and again. Why it is taking time? Let's wait. Okay, so I think it is done. Okay, so see, by running this command, we have said like from this database, from this server, we have to select this database. Okay, so now if you see, it has created our DB context class, everything. See all the classes, category table, master, everything is over here. Let's go to definition. See, department master. If we see the department master table, see, department master table is there. Inside that, we had two properties, two columns. Department name and department ID and department name. And department ID was primary key. Okay. Okay, so by default, it might be taking like that. Okay. So whatever the tables we had, all the tables has been created and respective data DB set also created. Now, first DB context. So you see, we have this class and this class is inheriting from DB context. So first terminology is, what is DB context? So DB context class is a replica of your database. DB context class is a replica of your database. Like what is your database? How many tables are there? Like that. Okay. After that, whatever the tables you have, for their for all the tables you have, respective classes will be created. That we will call it as model. Okay. What we will say? Table replica classes. Okay. So see, in my database, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tables were there. If we check over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we check the employee master, let's try to go to the, see, whatever the column you had in that table, all the properties it has created along with the specific data type. Let's try to open this employee table. See, right? So all those property he has also created. So manually, normally when we work in a project, in some project they will choose database first approach, some will choose code first approach, some will write custom code also. So if you have to go with the custom code, now all this model we normally write. Okay, then db context class also we will create it. We don't run this command. We have to manually create it everything. Whatever the code you can see, it is auto generated. Now this code manually we do it. Okay, so first step we have done. After installing the packages, now we have run this command. So what it has done, it has created whatever the tables we have, it has created the models for that, means classes, and it has created the DB context class also. And whatever the tables classes are there, that we need to register as a DB set in our DB context class. So as I said, DB context class is a replica of your database. So here and remaining classes are also there, like these classes. Let's see where they have stored it. See, all the classes, all the models we have created, these models are part of this database. Here we register all the model classes. Means, guys, please be on mute. Venkat. So all the models we have to register into DB context class as a DB set. Okay. So this also we haven't done till means by default that command has done this for us. Okay. Now let's say we want to we want to do the CRUD operation of our employee model. Okay. So what we can do, it has department and designation as a foreign key. Fine. Let's first try. Do we have any dependent table? Yeah. So this table, product master table, we will try for this first. Okay. So in this product table, what do we have? Product ID, product name, product code, price, category ID, and the description. So what we can do, let's create a new controller now. Now we are going to do the CRUD for our product table. Okay. So right click on the controller, add controller. So in last session, remember I said while checking the controller, we selected this empty controller. But I said like while selecting the controller, you can specify the model also. It will create UI code and everything. So now we are going to do with this, the third approach, MVC controller with views using entity framework. Okay. Now if we select this, it will ask us to create the model, like for which model you are going to create the controller. So here you can see we can create the model. What model we selected? Product master, no? This one. Okay. Then DB context class. Currently we just have one DB context class. In a project, we can have multiple DB context class also, because one project can get the data from multiple databases also. So there can be multiple DB context class also. So we need to specify like this model is from which DB context. So that's we specified. Then here we just need to select that layout page from view, shared, and this layout page. Okay, that's it. And let's click on add now. So now this simple thing, what we did in the model pop-up, it will create UI also and your code also to insert, update, delete list and everything. Okay, let it do the work. This is what scaffolding means. Scaffolding means if you provided any model or a class, it will create the basic set of code by itself. You don't have to do the basic code. Let it run. So see, it has created index action, then detail action, create action. This is for post action, edit action. Then this is for update. And last one will be for the delete. Okay. So all the code it has created. If you see the views folder, see all the HTML also it has created. Okay. Let's try to rebuild one more time and then we will run and check it. Okay, so till now what we have done, we have just installed these packages. We have run this command. It has created all the model and the DB context class. After that, we have just added a new controller. But while adding the new controller, we have selected model and the DB context class. That's it. Now, if we run it, okay, one thing is remaining. Let me just run it, show you the error. Then I will explain what is the remaining thing. So our controller name is product master controller /index. Okay, we should get one error. Let's check that. So see, while trying to access this particular page, we are getting the error like e-store DB context. It is not able to resolve. Okay, so previous now all dependency injection, right? So this dependency injection word, everyone is familiar with dependency injection word. Dependency injection. This word is familiar to everyone.
Yes.
Angular guys, you are also familiar, right? What in Angular,
Yes.
where do we use that word? Dependency injection. Where do we use that
Service.
word?
In constructor can use.
Right?
Service.
What's the meaning of dependency injection? What do we do in there? In Angular also in constructor? What do we do?
So actually, we are creating an instance of this class. It is a singleton instance
Correct?
actually, and we are
So
getting the
we are
all the
creating,
properties method.
see the meaning, dependency injection means in a component is nothing but a class. What are the dependent object that particular class needs? So we register that objects in the round bracket of that constructor. Means when the component object is created, all the dependent services object, whatever you mention in the constructor, those object will be automatically created. You don't have to do it by using new operator and everything. So that's the theoretical part behind that dependency injection. Now, in Angular, we had the constructor. How do we use to write the constructor? Constructor round bracket. But in C Sharp, how do we write the constructor? Constructor has the same name as per the class name. So see, here is the constructor. And inside round bracket, what we are injecting? Our DB context class. So this in Angular also same thing like that. But here we have to write the controller, means class name. This is our constructor in our .cs class. So it's saying it is not able to resolve this class in this controller. So for that, we need to add a dependency injection. Previously, in very previous version, we used to rely on a different library to handle this dependency injection. But after I think .NET 4.6 or 7 something, they have got its own framework for managing the dependencies. Okay. So now to enable, just a normal way I'm explaining, to enable the use of this class into this component, we need to register that in our program.cs. Okay. So over here, you need to register in the builder service. Let me just get that whole code. I don't remember. Okay, so builder, why it is saying not builder.add db context. Builder is not null here. Builder is here, na? Let's try.
We have to change the name of this
What?
class inside that.
Means where?
Oh, do you have written right? Erase. No worries. You can add.
No. Where?
Yeah, code mentor DB contest. We have to change the DB contest name and connections name.
Yeah, that we will, but builder, why it is not saying? Okay, let's try that first. DB context class name will go over here. No, the builder, why it is null, is not null over here. What's the meaning of this? Web application builder add DB context. Okay, I think syntax also change. Dot services. Let's try. Hmm. Get connection string, what it needs. We don't need the connection string, right? Let's try to remove this because connection string we have already specified while creating the scaffolding. Let's try now.
So we need to define the connection in the app setting also.
Yeah, when we do it custom everything, but we are using that command now. So while specifying that command only, we return over there. Right, let's try. Okay, so see, let's me show you the table data also. Product master. Select top. So from database, I think we might have 2 record. See, we have got 2 record. Now those same records are visible over here. Okay, let's try to create new record. On click of create new. See this UI and everything, it has by default created. Okay, mobile A2 product A2 price category ID. What was the category we had? Because we added the foreign key now. 7 product description test something. On click of create, see this also got created. Okay, if we by default it comes with 3 options: edit, detail and the view. Detail is just a detail mode. See, we are just able to see the information. If we click on the back to list, we are able to see again. Let's try to edit the first record. Okay, move to A2 instead of A2 23. Save. See, it got updated product name also. Let's try to delete the middle one. On click of delete, it will get us to the new page where it will ask for the confirmation. And if we click on the delete, it will delete the record also. Now assume how we used to do the same thing in Angular, and in by using .NET with very less time we have done all that. Just you need to create the database, you need to create the API, normal web application project. While creating controller, you need to select the model, like for which model you are going to do the CRUD operation. That's it. Basic code it will create. See, UI also it has created and whole code also it has created. We didn't return a single line of code also. So this was MVC web application. I know like steps might be something hard little bit because you might be seeing it for the first time. But once like 4 or 5 steps are there. So once you do that, you got your CRUD application ready. Understood?
So it is how it is taking like a URL route.
Route is like this. Which route? This product master URL?
So when no,
When I click on
yes,
create new or
on
something?
the basis of route we on the basis of route we give a then
No, routing is automatically done over here. You are talking about this URL or what? Or the code? What?
Yes, this URL only.
URL is like first you need to specify the controller
So
name.
actually what happened when we connect with backend.
I think voice is lagging. I'm audible? Remaining?
Okay. Yes, you are audible. Am I?
Yeah.
So we give some API routes on the basis of route, like
No, this is not
we connect.
This is not web API. This is a normal web application, not API.
Okay.
Before Angular and React, how we used to web application used to create it, na, that we are seeing. No part of API or normal web application. Here only .NET code is also there and UI code is also over here only. We don't need Angular or React or Vue. In .NET only we are creating UI also and the .NET backend code also.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Okay. After this we got the API. But up till now, let's say 2000 up to 2008 or something. No, not 8 also. 6 or 7 up to 2006 or 7, this is the only framework was there by which we used to design web application, all admin application, website, everything we used to design by using this MVC in .NET specifically, and same parallel in Java also by using Spring Hibernate. Here we have entity framework, in Java we had Hibernate. Here we have MVC, in Java we have Spring. Same concept is like that. There also we have model, there also controller, there also view, but just project structure is little bit different. Got it? So this is database first approach. We didn't have to create anything. We just established the database. Database was already there, and we created models from it. One more approach is there. We will create the model first, and when we run the application for the first time, it will create the database automatically. That's why this is database first. Database was already there. We created models by reading that database. Okay. In code first, we will create the model. Then once we run for the first time, reading the model, it will create the database. Understood? But this is just a one-time thing. Normally, when we work on the project, it is already taken care. Sometimes only because before starting project, all the database tables are already there. If the database, let's say we change the database again, we need to rerun this command. It will update the whatever the database changes are there over here. That is just one-time process. Remaining code, like this is just the automated code. Okay. Some, let's say, master pages are there, you don't need drop down or something, very basic validation also you need. Everything was getting handled by this piece of, by using this scaffolding. Let me show you the HTML also. Go to view. See, this is how HTML was there. Let's try the validation also. If we click on create new, and if we directly click on create, oh, it's adding because we didn't add the, we had the validation now over here. Okay, all are allow null. So let's check another column, another table where we have some mandatory. Here also not mandatory. Okay, let's try to create the department one quickly. We want to see that validation because in the database we didn't add the restriction that this is mandatory. So that's why in over here also it now it doesn't have that validation. Okay, let's try to add controller. Third option, add. We need to use department only, no? Yeah. Let's click on add. Okay, the meeting will close. I will again share the meeting because other meeting was already in use. Let me just stop and I will share it again. Okay, so department controller is ready. Let's try to run it. We wanted to see that validation.
Chup.
Okay. So let's try to navigate to our department controller. Okay. So I think in department table, we had 3 records already. Let's try to create new. On click of create. See, validation is also coming. So when we created the table, so as I said, whenever a new project start, we waste particular amount of time designing database only. What are the rules and regulation we have required, max length, min length, everything we set it in the database. Yeah, again, on the top of that also, we add some restriction on the backend side also. But basic validations should come from the database only. So if the table has the validation like min length, max length, right? Is it required or not? So that kind of validation will also .NET add it by itself. We don't have to do it. So likewise, you can see department name field is required. Once we provide it, marketing, then it will allow us to create. See, okay. Now, if you can see marketing and marketing got added twice. So here you need to write the code. Basic CRUD it will provide. But if you need to, let's say department name should be unique. So then you can add a code. So now let me show you the controller one by one. Okay. So whenever we have the post operation and the get operation now, so for create, you can see two actions are there. This is one action and this is another action. Both action have the name same create. Okay. Let's try to add a debugger. Here also I'm adding. Let me zoom a little bit. So we have two action with the same name, create and over here also. Okay. Now let's try to reload the page again. If I navigate to the create page, see which action will execute. Which action got executed? The first one. Where we above the action, we don't have anything. Okay. It is get page. See here it is in the comment get. Continue. Okay. Now let's try to create some record. Sales. Once I click on the create, see which action got executed? The post one. So when we load the page, our get action will execute. And once we click on the submit, our post action will execute. Now, while saving this, we set department name as sales. So the object, we will get it over here. See if we hover on this department master. See, we got department name sales. This extra thing we have got because we have added the foreign key relations. Now that's why it is giving. But department ID is 0 and department name sales. Whatever the text box value we have said, that text box value we have got it in the department name. And this we are asking to save. And here you can see model value, model state. Just like in the Angular also, we add a form.valid. So here we are getting the model. So we are checking the model state. Whatever the model we have received, department model, department master model, is it valid or not, that we are checking. So if it is valid, then only it will go to the inside. So first context.add. So context is nothing but DB context, our database object. Database DB context class means our database class object. So first this line. So by this line, we are saying this is the model which we want to save. And once we run this particular line, save changes, it will actually save the data, whatever the data we have passed, that will to the database. Okay. So while saving, we need to check like if the department name is already over there or not. Okay. Let's try to write that code. Let's say in JavaScript or in Angular, you have an array and in that array, you are trying to push a record or department array you have and you are trying to push, and there you need to write the code like if department name is already there or not. How do you write that? In array, you need to write a code that duplicate data should not be inserted into the array. How do you handle that in JavaScript or in Angular? Guys, I said you have an array of department. Okay. In that you are trying to push an department again, but you need to check like if this department name is already there or not. How do you write that code?
We will use include
Include,
function.
find, correct? Filter, anything you can use, na? Right? So just like that in .NET also, now we don't have array, but we have got the table. So first we will try to read the data. Like in table, do we have any record with this department name? If not, then only we will allow him to save. Okay. So let's check where, just like how do we declare the variable over there? Just like inside method also, we can use the where is department exist. Just a variable name I'm giving equal to our DB context name. So context dot which table? Department dot what we need to check like if the particular department name is there or not. So single or default is a method, or first or default, anything we can use, but normally we go with single or default. Round bracket m equal to m dot with what we need to compare, what I will be comparing with.
Department ID.
No, department name na. You are trying to
Okay,
create
okay,
an, you are trying to check if department name is already there or not. We will
okay.
try to compare with the department master, whatever the object you get,
Equals to department master.
dot department name.
Yeah.
Okay. So if in my table I have the department name, whatever I'm trying, so I will get that record. Otherwise, it will be null. So we need to write a check on the null. If it is equal to null, then only we need to run this particular piece of code like this. Okay. Let's try now. So this line will check if this in this my table. See, I will read out to you also. How do we read it? From my database, from this table, I'm trying to check if whatever the department name I'm passing is already there or not, single or default. It's like in JavaScript, we have find method, right? On the array. What does find do in JavaScript or in Angular? Find. How many record it returns? Find.
One.
Yeah.
One record.
And filter.
First record.
No, find. Yeah, first record. First or one?
First find value.
First record only. And filter, it will return array of matching elements, correct? So just like that in .NET also, this is link queue query. Okay. So single or find, single or default is equivalent to find. Okay. Let's try now. Slash department index. So we have this development already, right? Let's try to create new department with the development text. Okay, once I click on create. So see now F10. See in the department name we have got development. So see over here we got the record. We have already a department with this particular department name, which is having department ID 3. So currently this is not null, so it won't go inside. And it will directly return. Again, we can write custom code also saying department name already exists or something like that. But we have prevented that. If I say department development or it's a QA, if I click on create, now in my database table, I don't have any department with name QA. So see, I got null. So if it is null, it will go inside and it will create the new record. Understood? So basic code it will provide, but all this code again we are going to see properly in the API. But same whatever you are able to see over here, now the same code will be in the API also. Whatever the model we saw, right? Everything is going to be same in the API also, because MVC and .NET Core, it's not nothing new because basically we write in the C# only. Model, class, controller, everything is going to same. But in an API project, we don't have the UI, just the code we are going to write. We are going to return the JSON data. That's it. We don't have to worry about the UI. Our API will be integrated in Angular or in React. Okay. So this is just an introduction. How do we do that? Now, if you see the HTML part now, you are able to see something label, and this is a razor view syntax. Okay. Instead of this, let's say input, see this text box. So instead of this, now you can create normal text box also. But this text box, you need to bind it to your model also. So this name property you need to use. So in Angular also name property has some meaning. Name property on the input field. We have a meaning na, for the name field.
Yes, sir.
So in template
Yes.
form, we
Yes.
provide the name property. What do we provide normally in the name property? The field name, whatever we bind. Correct? Whatever we ng model, whatever the property we bind to the ng model, the same property we bind it to the name property, right? So now let's comment this. So now instead of this text box, we are using our HTML text box. Okay. So see now. Guys, please be on mute. Let's click on create new, or we have to stop. I think let's stop and run it again. Okay. If I click on create, okay, debugger is there. Let's remove this debugger. Okay. Let's try Angular department. On click of create. See if you still we have got the Angular department. Now this was no, where do we do the change? Okay, in the other table we did. Let's check the other table. Product master. Let's add a debugger over here on the create action. Product master index. Click on create new. See, this is just the normal text box because we have added, but classes we didn't add. Okay. Let's try. 6 was there. On click of create. So if you see over here, product name, see whatever we have added in the text box that we have got. But if we don't add that name property now, you won't get that value because this name property, like on click of this submit, now it is creating an object with whatever the property we said. So here product name, product code. Okay. So this is razor text box and this is our normal text box. So whenever you use that directly controller by using the model na scaffolding, it will create the UI by using razor. Okay. But you can have your normal HTML also. Instead of this label ASP4, you can use normal label also. If you see the index, so you can see we have the table. Let's add border. See, this is the normal table only. Okay, we have debugger. Let's continue. See, we got the border also. Then what else we can add? Table, border. What is that other class? Where do we that alternate rows get highlighted? What is that class?
Stripe, STRIPED, I think.
Striped. Yeah. Let's save. No, stripe's not coming. Do we need to stop and run again? Let's try. One more thing, when you okay, now it's not opening. But in previous version, when you run from this particular HTML file, it was previously it was running this particular file. Means you don't have to specify the controller. But I think I don't know the versions from where we have to manually do that. See, alternate stripes also are coming. So ultimately, it's a HTML normal code also. Now HTML display for so product name. So whatever the column name are there, means field name that are visible over here. If you need to change it, you can change it also. Product name. Let's save. Again, we need to reload. Fine. Again, here you can see normal for loop, for each loop if we use over here. So as I said, now it's a combination of CS and HTML, C# and the HTML. So here you can write @ for loop, if condition also you can write, but just not normal. It has a syntax also. We call it as a razor view syntax. Okay, razor view syntax. It's a razor is a view engine. And in Angular, what is the view engine? In Angular, what is the view engine? In Angular, we have a view engine, right? Anyone remember? View engine. IV. Anyone have heard IV?
Yes,
Renderer,
IV.
right?
Yeah, from
What that
Angular
IV done in Angular, that same thing Razor do over here in the MVC web app. Okay, view generation tool, kind of something. Okay, so by using Razor, we can write C# code also in the HTML. Okay, fine. So this is what the basic code we get. This was a simple overview of MVC. Everyone is able to understand what was MVC, how we used to create web application when there was no Angular or React. Specifically .NET guys, are you able to relate? Anyone have any
Yes, sir.
doubt?
Same.
Okay, so all this model and everything, it is all by default created by because we use that command. But we can create this whole thing by writing our code also by ourselves. But we will do that in API project only. Instead of wasting over here, we will do that code in API project. Okay. Fine. So specifically MVC .NET guys, do you want me to explain more features of MVC or we can directly jump to the API?
.edmx file can we see?
EDMX we cannot see now. EDMX was there in the older version. That
Okay.
I believe better to go jump onto this API side
yeah,
because
yeah.
we are
So,
learning Angular, so we have to
yeah.
go for that one.
Yeah. So EDMX and everything now in this is entity framework core one. We had the previous one version also before that core entity framework. There we used to see that diagram and everything EDMX file, but now we don't have that
Hmm.
because
So
once you
if some
Hmm.
database side, some properties is changed, some
yeah
field
again we
like
need to
column is big.
run that scaffolding command. So it will
Okay.
update the database that we used to do in that EDMX. Right click and update. Same thing it will do from over here also. So it
Okay.
will again
On
check what
package
changes
manager.
are there and it will replace the model also. Okay.
Okay, sure.
This is with new, but in previous version, let's say your project was with older version, na? There you will get that EDMX. So whatever things we have done, basically different way was there. Here we have done that by using command. There was a UI was coming, right?
Yeah. I want to know like how to update so scaffolding command we need to run again.
Run
That
again.
way,
That's it. It will delete all this model and it will again create this model again with the new whatever the
Okay.
changes you have. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Fine. So anyone?
Sir,
Yeah.
if we have the view from the Angular, then only the controller part we have to write to combine the
No.
the API.
No. Don't mix this. This is web application. This was there when we didn't add Angular or React. Okay.
Oh, okay, got it.
So before Angular or React, we used to create web application or admin softwares by using this technology. Whatever we see now, we were able to do the CRUD operation. The same thing also we do in the Angular, correct?
Yes, sir. Same CRUD operation we are able
Right.
to
But we
simulate in
didn't do
Angular.
anything, right? Almost basic code it
Yes.
has provided. Okay. So that's what I mentioned. Like in Angular, we don't have something scaffolding, but in .NET, we used to have this. Okay.
Okay.
API project is something else. There we won't have the UI, just the code logic where we will have actions and it will return the data. That's it. And that API we will again integrate in our Angular application. Clear?
So only the like the Swagger what we are able to see that one will be designing in the API part.
Yes. Just the controller we will create, controller and the model. In API project, we won't have this view folder. Just the controller and the model will be there.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Yeah.
Do we need to learn the Razor syntax?
See, we say if you are specific a .NET developer, now you should be aware about the Razor also. But if you are a full stack developer, then obviously for front end you will be using Angular or React, right? Razor is like only dedicated for the .NET. There is no part of Angular, correct? Means
Yes,
normal
yes.
web application. What we are seeing now, this was the normal application. So if you are a dedicated .NET developer and you want to stick to the .NET only, then you should be aware about the Razor syntax. It's not difficult. See, this is nothing but Razor syntax. If you need anchor tag, anchor, ASP action, you need to what action you want to execute on this anchor tag, just like that. ASP, if you need a text box, you will write input ASP for, means this text box with what field you are going to create. So ASP for the field name with what you are going to connect, just like the name property, your model property name, you will bind it over here. If you need to show the validation, so see ASP validation for and your product name. So by default that this is required field will come over here in this span. Okay. It's not very big, very similar syntax to HTML only. Fine. Anyone having any question? So those who want to
Sir,
give a
I have,
try now. Yeah.
sir, I have a question. Sir, .NET Core and ASP.NET are same, sir.
No, it's different framework. It's a .NET technology only. Inside that we have different framework. First classic ASP was there, then ASP.NET was there, then MVC was there. Now we have core. Frameworks
Okay,
are there,
okay.
but basically C# is still same. Whatever we write the code, that is in C#. It's same. Okay, so those who want to give a try, just create a project. I have provided an online database also. If you don't have it, let me know. I will provide you the online database. You can, whatever you do in Angular, same thing you can complete by using this also.
Yeah, provide database script.
Database script or online database. You have database already installed in your system?
Yes, I have SQL Server.
Just,
So
just
if I
create any
get
table.
script,
This is the table we have just for practice we have created. Nothing is there. Create your own table and just use that. I will provide
if you
you
can
this.
right click and generate script, then it will be
Yeah,
nice.
we can create. Okay, I will share it to you. Okay, anyone having any question? So next Saturday, Sunday, we will start on the API now. Okay, there we will learn everything step by step. Whatever, like normally, whatever you have seen in my Swagger, like what are different applications we have. From single API, we can insert multiple data, reading stored procedure, validation, what not thing. Whatever we should be aware of the basic thing that we will cover one by one. Okay. Fine. Shall we close? Anyone have any question? Okay.
No, it's clear.
Yeah. Thank you then. Let's connect on Saturday.
Yeah, please generate the script and share.
Yeah, I will share. Fine. Thank you
Hello.
all.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
धन्यवाद.